Harry's wife, the racism smear. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Why do narcissists engage in smearing? Well, smearing is an indirect assertion of control. As you ought to know from my work, there are 3 assertions of control that the narcissist can use. The first is direct, which is also known as hoovering. So if we're in a room with you, we may do something towards you to assert control over you. If we're not physically proximate, we might come to see you, we might send you a message, we might ring you up, we might send a gift. All different ways of asserting control over you directly. If that isn't available to us, or we've tried it and it doesn't work, or that the narcissism dictates that that's not going to meet with success, the matter cannot be left there. The first law of narcissism is that all appliances must be brought under control and kept under control at all times. And therefore, instead, what happens is that the narcissism then shunts the narcissist to seek out the second assertion of control, which is indirect. That could be, for instance, benignly triangulating you. So, what happens is, we say to a friend, "Oh, my girlfriend's absolutely wonderful." And the friend goes, "Yes, she is." That demonstrates that the friend is under control, but also provides us with that subconscious indirect assertion of control over the girlfriend. More usually, however, the indirect assertion of control is done in a malign way. So, for example, the narcissist decides to try and ring his girlfriend, only to find, or his ex-girlfriend, only to find that the number is unobtainable. The direct assertion of control has been denied to him. He therefore turns and says to his friends, "Can you believe it? I've just been trying to ring Tabitha, and she's changed her effing number." The friend, who's a member of the coterie, goes, "That's women for you, mate, snakes with tits." His agreement that Tabitha isn't a very nice person then allows that unaware narcissist a subconscious sense of control indirectly. It's not actual control over the girlfriend, but an artifice of such, but the narcissism allows that to be the case. So invariably what happens is that each time you come up on the radar when you're painted black, the narcissist may well assert control over you indirectly by smearing you. And this can often happen while you're still in the relationship with the narcissist and you don't know that it's going on. And so what happens is friends and family, those coterie members, are steadily drip-fed intermittent complaints about you, which it's not done as a part of calculated campaign, but rather on an ad hoc basis, which has the aggregate effect that when perhaps you leave the narcissist or the narcissist disengages from you, and then you go to those coterie members unaware that that's what they are and say, "Sebastian has left me and he's gone off with Annie No-Knickers from the office," you're met with a rather frosty reception and you don't understand why. The reason is that unbeknownst to you, for a number of weeks, possibly even months beforehand, you, as part of the indirect assertion of control over you, have been repeatedly smeared to the friends and family member, so that you've been painted as an abuser, a floozy, that you cheated first. As a narcissist, of course, has utilised the truth, the half-truth, and nowhere near the truth as part of that smearing. After the relationship has ended, should the narcissist learn that you're going around telling other people that he is an arsehole or she is an arsehole, then in the circumstances that is a threat to control. And if the narcissist can't deal with it by approaching you directly, then of course what will he do? He will go around and smear. "Don't listen to her, she's crazy. She's the abuser, not me." So you end up being smeared. If you read my excellent book Smeared, which you can find on Amazon or in the Knowledge Vault, you'll learn more about the different ways that smearing occurs and, of course, what you can do about it. Harry's wife, of course, repeatedly smears. She does so because her narcissism essentially realises that she can't assert control directly over certain individuals, prominently, of course, are the members of the royal family. And therefore what happens is, as part of a pity play, she moans and whinges to other people, Oprah, Gayle King, the tramp on the corner of the street, although she will no doubt keep her distance from him, complaining about her supposed treatment at the hands of the royal family, and of course her narcissism repeatedly plays the race card by erroneously and untruthfully claiming that she was subjected to racism from the royal family, yet never ever actually providing any evidence. This now has been ramped up. We know, of course, that Harry's wife is going to accept an award on the basis of her supposed courage and heroism at standing up to structural racism, which is an utter load of horse shit. This is an invention of her narcissism, which, using her paranoia, caused her to believe that each and every time she was told no, or that she wasn't allowed to do something, it wasn't for the real reason explained, but it was because those individuals were being racist. Accordingly, her narcissism maintains this narrative, and is doing so with more PR puff pieces, which are taking on a somewhat more unpleasant nature. As you know, many of the PR puff pieces are all about her and what a fashion icon she is, etc., and showing her at the latest opening of a potato. Now, through Newsweek, with one of the coterie members, Jack Royston, there is an article which references a video that has gone viral. Let's dip in first of all to the article itself before I show you the video. The article by Royston explains, with the headline, King Charles, Queen Camilla, awkward meetings with people of colour go viral. Queen Camilla's awkward interaction with the black child left social media users rewatching tricky moments for King Charles III and Kate Middleton. No, she's the Princess of Wales. The Queen Consort was filmed during a visit to a preschool, lifting up a little girl's arm by her sleeve. While some felt she was attempting to look at the girl's bracelet, which she had commented on, others criticised the interaction. In the aftermath, a video containing 3 other clips of royal families has gone viral on Twitter and has been viewed over 149,000 times. The first clip in the sequence shows Prince William being asked by a Sky News journalist whether the royals were a racist family, 4 days after Prince Harry and Harry's wife's Oprah Winfrey interview. The Prince of Wales was on a visit to a school in Stratford, East London at the time, in March 2021, bringing up the past, and replied, "No, we're very much not a racist family." He was also asked whether he had spoken to Prince Harry, and said, "No, I haven't spoken to him yet, but I will do." William's stance differed from Queen Elizabeth II's official response to the Oprah interview, released by Buckingham Palace days earlier, which said the royals were concerned about allegations of racism contained in the tell-all. Elizabeth's statement read, "The whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Harry and Harry's wife. The issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. While some recollections may vary, they are taken very seriously and will be addressed by the family privately. Harry, Harry's wife and Archie will always be much-loved family members. The right way of dealing with the matter, statesmanlike, but also putting down the ridiculous observation that has been made by Harry's wife as her narcissism claimed victim status once again." The article continues. The next clip shows the Princess of Wales during a difficult tour of the Caribbean, which saw protests in Jamaica and an indication from the country's Prime Minister of a desire to pursue greater independence from the British monarchy. The footage was shot in Trenchtown, Kingston, on March 22, 2022, as Kate watched young footballers play a match with Prince William. A woman attempts to take Kate's hand, while the princess appears momentarily reluctant to reciprocate. It is not known what the two women were discussing, or whether anything within the conversation would better explain the interaction. The visit at the time sparked a different colonialism controversy after Kate and William were pictured shaking the hands of children through a wire mesh fence. Charles is also seen in the montage greeting members of the public in London on September the 17th in the aftermath of Queen Elizabeth II's death. The king appears to miss out a black man in the crowd before shaking a white man's hand, with one Twitter user at the time stating, "This guy did it deliberately." Others pointed out Charles had shaken the hands of other black people during the walkabout. King Charles III shook the hands of many black people on that day. LOL, nice try at racism, clickbait. Footage of the moment was viewed 10 million times on Twitter and liked almost 180,000 times. The Queen Consort visited Barnardo's nursery in Bow, East London, to give out Paddington bears and teddies left in tribute to Elizabeth after her death. During the engagement, she joined some children as they played, and she spoke to a little black girl about her pretty bracelet on Thursday, November the 24th. Footage showed that Camilla lifting the girl's arm by her sleeve went viral, and some on social media also commented on a photograph of Camilla hugging another young girl. Shola Moshogbamimu, also known, as you know, as Shouty Shola, author This Is Why I Resist, wrote on Twitter, The way Camilla holds this child's hand is very disturbing. I have a strong itch to slap her hand right off. What the hell did she think she was doing to this black child? Another Twitter user wrote, many of the Bernardo's children have already heartbreakingly suffered abuse, trauma and loss around adults. Camilla did the 100% the right thing. She was tentative and gave the child autonomy in their contact. Eventually she did get the little hand. Bravo, Camilla, you did well. The royals have sparked regular debates about racism since Prince Harry and Harry's wife's Oprah Winfrey interview in March 2021 accused an unnamed royal of expressing concern about how dark the couple's unborn child's skin might be. Many of those incidents, including the ones clipped in the Twitter montage, have gone viral, in some cases earning millions of views. The account behind the Twitter montage appears to use 3 awkward moments to challenge Prince William's rebuttal of Harry's wife's and Harry's allegations. The relatively large audience the royal racism debate still gains on Twitter more than 18 months after Oprah suggests the issue is not going away. Well, it's not, is it? Because Harry's wife keeps resurrecting it by bringing up the past and continuing to smear. The risk of further moments like these is one Prince William and Kate may want to be aware of as they prepare to bring the Earthshot Prize to Boston on Wednesday, November the 30th. So here we have an article which is basically taking this Twitter video and showcasing it once again in an attempt to race bait. There are a handful of comments to the article which state as follows. Spencer William, race baiting at its best. Newsweek, keep it up. Jeffrey, how many times does Jack Royston get to throw the racist accusations without evidence against the royals above Harry in line for the throne? And then I Mute Morons writes, nay, Camilla, you're doing it wrong. A personal aside is her looking somewhat horse-faced, which again demonstrates these individuals who support Harry and Harry's wife, who say, you don't know her and you're not allowed to comment. But then, of course, what they will do is throw nasty comments around towards other members of the royal family, demonstrating their hypocrisy. So that's the article that's showcasing once again this video. But why don't you now watch it if you haven't already seen it? Then you can make your own mind up about what's really going on. Here it comes.
Can you just let me know, is the royal family a racist family, sir?
No, we're very much not a racist family.
Can you just let me know, is the royal family a racist family, sir?
No, we're very much not a racist family.
Well, doubtless you'll let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section. But what you've witnessed, of course, is the interaction of Camilla and, of course, the person that put the montage up, somebody called Danny APG, put hashtag racist royal family. So if you look at the montage, you tell me whether you think that this demonstrates that this is a racist family. Obviously, we saw Kate Middleton, now the Princess of Wales, showing a degree of reluctance. But what was that reluctance based on? What was she being asked to do? It wasn't a reluctance in relation to the fact that a black lady was putting a hand out to her. It was undoubtedly reluctance in terms of what was going on. Perhaps she's been invited to play football and she didn't want to because she was wearing heels. No context is given. But typically, of course, this individual decides that it is appropriate to show footage of a recalcitrant Princess of Wales with a black lady and thus suggest that she didn't want to engage with her, which is clearly nonsense. Then, of course, after that, we see the footage of King Charles, and in a crowd of lots of different people, he happens to miss out one particular hand, and because it's black, he's immediately accused of being racist. Of course, if you watch it carefully, the man reaches for him and he does go back and he takes him his hand with his left hand as he's moving along the line. Indeed, Charles is looking around and he's not exactly looking at everybody whose hands he's shaking, and therefore to suggest that he purposefully omitted a black man, again, is disingenuous hogwash. Whilst Charles, of course, is a narcissist, in that instance he was not exhibiting any discriminatory behaviours. He didn't need to. All of those people were there. They weren't threatening his control. And accordingly, he didn't even notice the person whose hand he initially omitted. And then when the gentleman grabbed his hand, he shook it with his left hand. So he wasn't ignored. And then, of course, with regard to Camilla, the suggestion is as if she's lifting the arm of the child as if she doesn't want to touch her skin, which is nonsense, because she said, what a pretty bracelet, and she's trying to get a better look at it. And as somebody else recognised, that she's treating the child with respect, given the fact that she may come from difficult circumstances by virtue of it being a Barnardo's event. So Danny APG is engaging in, of course, the typical sugar lump behaviour of race agitation, playing the race card in circumstances where there is absolutely no evidence. And it is this dim-witted attempt to build upon the racist smearing that Harry's wife's engaged in that just backfires. Yes, their supporters, because they're stupid, will go, oh yes, this definitely shows that they're a racist family. Anybody else would look at it and go, no, it doesn't. And other people would look at it and think, don't be so pathetic. And of course, this shows the brand of Harry's wife's supporters in terms of the smearing, that they see the way that she goes about it and they follow, which shows the dangerous behaviours that she engages in with her unsubstantiated smearing of the royal family vis-a-vis narcissism. And you understand why she does it, because of the repeated threats to control, that her narcissism seeks an indirect assertion of control over them, and does so by virtue of reaching for the race card. You would not realise why she was doing this and why she would repeatedly engage in this behaviour and select that race card were it not for the knowledge that I've imparted to you about narcissism. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.